You're welcome back to the Gavel. The Senate during the week asked President Muhammadu Buhari to maintain the ban on rice importation through land borders. Now, in a report submitted at plenary by the Senate Ad-hoc Committee on Duties, Waivers and Concessions, the committee stated that the decision of the Nigerian Customs Service to unilaterally lift the ban on rice importation through land borders would adversely affect and disrupt the gains of the rice policy. Rice, a major staple in the diet of many Nigerians. Because of the high level of consumption of rice among many Nigerians, government has always paid attention to rice production and importation. The 8th Senate, since its inauguration, has also given considerable attention to issues concerning the food crop. In October 2015, a federal lawmaker brought to the attention of the Senate that the Comptroller General of Customs lifted a ban on rice importation through land borders. The lawmaker said the decision by the Nigerian Customs Service to allow importation of rice through land borders would escalate smuggling in the country. The Senate mandated an ad hoc committee on waivers and concessions to investigate the matter and report back to the Senate. During the public hearing, the committee raised an alarm that 2 foreign companies involved in rice importation, Stallion Group and Olam International, owe Nigeria 44 billion naira as import duties. At plenary on Wednesday, the chairman of the committee read the report of the findings of its investigation to the Senate.
The committee also found that any importers that import 5 to 10 shiploads, so vessels of rice, into Benin Republic and destined them to Nigeria through the land borders already had predetermined motive to cheat the Nigerian government of revenue through duty evasion. As there is no justification for any importer to import parboiled rice that is meant for Nigeria, discharge it in Cotonou, pay import duty at 5% and load the same consignment into trucks where he pays transportation cost of about 400,000 naira per truck to the Nigerian border, and on arrival pay another import duty of either 30 or 70%. The committee does not see any logic in this. The committee is of the opinion that lifting the ban will lead to evasion of customs duty and revenue losses to Nigerian maritime industry. That is, Nigerian Ports Authority, Nigerian Maritime and Security Administration Agency, NATO, freight forwarders, haulage subsector, as well as all the trucks to be engaged will be from neighboring countries, etc. The committee strictly holds the view that the lifting of ban will directly lead to increased diversion of vessels to neighboring countries.
A debate in the matter was thrown open.
The entire rice policy is actually a policy that requires an overhaul. But this committee was given a specific assignment to investigate the lifting of the ban on rice importation to the land border. And its recommendations and findings are specific. The position of the committee is that the country is more able to actually monitor and control what comes into the sea border than to the land border. And that as much as possible, the infrastructure, when the CG Customs appeared before the committee, all its explanations and everything he tried to demonstrate to the committee found out that the leakages were too high to allow this kind of policy to stand.
I see it simply as a clear attempt to monopolize this importation through the sea. It has no any patriotic value. It is simply about giving the rice importers through the sea the monopoly of bringing rice to Nigeria. All that we need to do is to step up the activities of Standard Organization of Nigeria and other quarantine agencies in the border, so that rice could, if we are for rice importation, then it should be allowed to be imported from anywhere.
I think, Mr. President, the time has come, once as a nation, to come up with policy and programs that will make our nation sufficient when it comes to food items like rice and other basic food items that can be produced locally in our farms and export to other parts of the world.
50% rice duty collections account for 50% of the total duty collection of Nigerian Customs, which underscores the importance of this commodity because of the population of this country. So we must ensure that the right thing is done. We are not saying as a committee, Mr. President, that bringing rice through the borders is wrong. But if you look at the findings of this committee, a clear case where you pay 5% in Cotonou or 5% in Lomé, then line up trucks to bring in rice into the country, you are depriving this country of a significant revenue loss. It is not easy, and you cannot also guarantee the quality of the rice being brought in through the borders. And this does not only account for rice. Sugar is also equally involved. It's a major commodity being brought into the borders through smuggling. So we are not saying as a committee, Mr. President, that bringing rice through the border, the sea or by air is wrong. But what we are saying is that Nigeria must begin to adhere strictly to policies that were formulated, and let us see through the policy, review the policy, then come back and look at things that were not run properly.
Urging the federal government to reverse the lifting of the ban on rice importation through land borders. This is where we call it a day on this week's edition of the Gavel. If you have any views on any of the issues discussed, do email us on thegavel@channelstv.com. Thank you for staying with us, and see you again next week.